Hello everyone! For my inquiry project, I chose to focus on summer reading programs. My goal was to learn more about ways to design and facilitate summer reading programs for teens that support lifelong learning and reading. In my work as a teen librarian, I design and facilitate a summer reading program each year, and I want to make sure that my program is supporting teens in becoming lifelong readers and learners. For this project, I chose to use the Alberta Inquiry Model. This model matches my thinking and learning process well. I also appreciate that reflection is at the center of the model and is a large component of each stage of the process. During the planning stage, I identified my initial questions, which are included on this slide and the next. During the retrieval stage, my initial questions began to evolve. I found some very interesting research on what motivates youth to read that guided my project, so I added a question about motivation. Also, as I began processing the information that I had collected, I realized that I had not gathered much information specifically about supporting emerging and reluctant readers. I also realized that this was a very broad question that could easily become the topic of its own inquiry project. So I chose to eliminate this question to keep my project more focused on summer reading programs. The next set of slides focus on answers to my initial and evolving questions. A sense of self-efficacy is an important motivator for reading. Youth are also motivated to read if they see it as part of their social identity. Choice of reading material is another strong motivator. Studies have shown that youth who can select their own reading material make 2 times the reading gains of those who are assigned reading material. In this study by Ivey and Johnston, they surveyed 8th grade students that participated in a language arts class where they selected their own reading material. At the end of the school year, students reported reading more often and spending more time talking about books, among other learning gains noted here. To me, it is clear that providing opportunities for teens to select their own reading material increases their motivation to read and contributes to their sense of self-efficacy. I also spent some time looking at different models for summer reading programs. Many programs, including the one I have run, ask teens to read a certain number of minutes or hours, or to read a certain number of books to earn some type of prize. Other programs ask teens to read for a specific number of days or check out a certain number of items. Others create bingo cards with a wide variety of educational activities teens can choose to complete to earn a prize. Other libraries have moved away from offering individual prizes and invite participants to work towards a community goal and reward. In this chart, I share some ways I feel these various models support youth reading and learning. I wanted to share a few examples of community goals, including one from our classmate Stephanie. At her library, participants earn votes for each item they check out and can vote on which prize will be purchased for the library. Last year's options were a book bike, outdoor games collection, and a mobile science table. Libraries have a wide variety of goals for their summer reading programs, including creating lifelong readers, improving access to books, fostering a love of reading, and encouraging lifelong library use. Libraries also want to combat the summer slide and demonstrate that the library is a safe and welcoming learning environment for youth. After gathering this information on summer reading goals, I realized that the programs we design do not always reflect our goals. Mutual recommends giving away free books to each teen that registers to support the goal of increasing youth access to books. Based on my findings in this inquiry project, this year I plan to ask teens to track days of reading to encourage them to build a habit of regular reading. I have also suggested some additional ways libraries can structure their programs to match their goals. I also realized that libraries often focus on quantitative measures to determine the success of their SRPs. Though registration numbers are easy to collect, they do not measure success. These statistics simply show that youth signed up, not that they developed their reading ability or learned new skills. Though program outcomes can be more difficult to measure, since they require qualitative information from participant feedback, focus groups, and surveys, they provide a richer picture of the impact of SRPs. To encourage lifelong reading, libraries can give participants free choice of reading materials. Librarians can also encourage teens, especially those that struggle with reading, to listen to audiobooks. Librarians can also find ways to teach reading habits and skills through their SRPs, and provide opportunities for teens to use them. I'll explore this further on the next slide. Outreach is another important way to foster lifelong reading. Many teens who do not have a regular habit of reading avoid coming to the library, so libraries can take the programs to them, at the Boys and Girls Club, community center, or other places teens spend their time. To become regular readers, teens need to learn skills such as selecting books, making reading plans, and abandoning books. To support skill building in these areas, libraries can include recommended reading lists in their SRP materials, provide readers advisory, and model browsing strategies teens can use to find books that interest them. I've included some suggestions for teaching other reading skills on this slide as well. Additionally, libraries can support lifelong reading by making reading visible. One suggestion I plan to take on is creating a Reading Life book display in our teen space, where I can share what I have recently read and how I rated it. This is a way for me to model how reading is an important part of my life. Finally, librarians can incorporate opportunities for teens to talk about books during programs. This helps them connect reading to their social identity and can increase their motivation to read. Rewards do have a place in summer reading programs, but they must be used carefully. Rewards are a form of extrinsic motivation and can actually decrease the habit of reading once the reward is received. This makes reading more of a means to reach a goal, rather than an inherently rewarding activity itself. In 2 different studies where youth were interviewed after participating in summer reading programs, many mentioned that the reward was not their main motivation for participating. Rewards that are reading related are more likely to demonstrate the value of reading and can also give participants a greater feeling of competence. Many of the reading-related rewards suggested in the resources I consulted were more suited for a school environment, but with some reflection, I was able to think of several options that could work well in public libraries. Participants could select a free book to own, or have the opportunity to select books for the library to purchase. Reading-related swag like literary pins, socks, stickers, and shirts can also be great, meaningful rewards. Finally, participants could earn an invitation to an end-of-summer reward party with their peers. That includes literary-related activities like crafts, games, or food. One goal of SRPs is to combat the summer learning loss that youth often experience. One of the best ways to do this is to change the focus of the summer reading program to a summer learning program. This approach allows teens to practice a wide variety of skills over the summer, rather than just focusing on reading. Engaging programming and activities may also entice teens who aren't regular library users to participate. He also recommends designing programs around teen passions and interests and then incorporating literacy activities into them. For example, the library could host a Fortnite gaming session and also create a book display of Fortnite-related books teens might enjoy. A summer learning approach benefits teens in many ways. It prevents learning loss in all content areas and helps teens build 21st century skills in areas such as technology, design, and collaboration. This approach also helps teens become active players in their learning. Teens can help plan and lead programming in areas of passion and interest. These types of opportunities help them build confidence and self-efficacy, which will encourage them to continue engaging in reading and learning. This was a very rewarding inquiry topic for me, and my findings will have many influences on my future practice. I will continue to design a summer learning program that emphasizes a variety of educational opportunities along with reading. I have also been slowly adapting our program so that teens have complete control over their reading choices. I am glad to have identified some research-based resources that back up my convictions. This project has also motivated me to find ways to include more literacy-based activities into the programs we offer. I want to provide opportunities for teens to talk about books with their peers and practice reading skills. I would also like to begin moving away from extrinsic rewards and maybe even transition to a community goal model. I want to be a more conscious reading role model and plan to put together a Reading Life display in the next few months. Finally, this project has influenced me to increase the amount of outreach I do during summer reading. Last year, I was able to visit teens in the summer school program at our local middle school and register them for summer reading. The school librarian and I worked together to deliver prizes to teens who had completed a reading record. This was a great way for me to reach more teens, and I want to find ways to expand this partnership and explore partnerships with other local youth organizations like the Boys and Girls Club. The remaining screens are a list of the resources I consulted for this project. Thanks for watching!